Little Big, or The Fairies Parliament is a modern fantasy novel by John Crowley, published in 1981. It won the World Fantasy Award in 1982. Plot synopsis. Little Big is the epic story of the Drinkwater family and the relationship with the mostly obscured world of fairy. It is set in and around their eccentric country house, called Edgewood, somewhere north of the city. The story is dreamlike, quiet, and meandering, spanning 100 years of the intertwined family trees of the Drinkwaters and the relations, from the turn of the 20th century to a sparsely described dystopian future America ruled by a sinister despot. The magical elements are subtle rather than overt, with only occasional glimpses of the fairies themselves, although the presence is felt throughout. Plot. Turn-of-the-century architect John Drinkwater begins to suspect that within this world there lies another. Towards the center is the realm of fairy. Every time a generation or epoch moves deeper within these realms, another follows behind them, entering the realm they have vacated. Drinkwater gathered his thoughts into an ever-evolving series of books entitled The Architecture of Country Houses, although few readers grasped the point he was trying to convey. Somewhere around the start of the 20th century, Drinkwater designed and built a house called Edgewood. It is later revealed that this house is a door through to the outer realm of fairy. Edgewood is a composite of many different houses and architectural styles, each built over and across the others. It has the effect of disorienting visitors and protecting the family. The beginning of the story joins a later generation of the Drinkwater family as they prepare for the marriage between the daughter Dahlia Alice and a stranger, Smokey Barnable. Alice has only briefly met Smokey during a prior trip to the city. In the past, Alice and her sister Sophie claimed to see fairies when they were younger, although it is unclear whether this actually happened or if it was part of an ongoing game they call The Tale. The family ages and grows, and Alice and Smokey have 3 daughters, Tacy, Lily and Lucy, and a son, Oberon. Alice's sister Sophie also gives birth to a daughter, Lilac, who might not be Smokey's illegitimate daughter. Sophie has inherited the gift of foresight from her great-aunt Cloud, through an ancient and incomplete set of tarot cards. The family regularly consult them in order to find out about such mundane matters as the weather or how soon a visitor will be arriving at the house. The story moves forwards to the adolescent Oberon venturing to the city, where he stays with his dissolute cousin George, who lives in a ruinous apartment block which he has converted into a farmstead. The city itself is near collapse and rife with crime and poverty. Oberon falls in love with a striking and vivacious Puerto Rican woman called Sylvie. At this juncture, Russell Eigenblick, a charismatic but secretive politician, rises in popularity and becomes the president. He advocates civil war, but against what or who is unclear. He is secretly opposed by a covered group of wealthy businessmen and politicians called the Noisy Bridge Rod and Gun Club. They are working with the Majorial Hawkskill, a distant relation of the Drinkwater family. Hawkskill identifies Eigenblick as the reawakened Holy Roman Emperor Frederick Barbarossa, and she divines that he has been called from sleep in order to protect fairy. Although Eigenblick has not realized it, his enemy is mankind, who have systematically, though unknowingly, driven the fairies deeper and deeper into hiding. Hawkskill also divines that Edgewood is the portal to fairy, and she travels there to see for herself. Whilst she is there, she steals Sophie's tarot pack, recognizing that they are in fact the map describing the route into fairy. Hawkskill fears that Eigenblick will use them to ill effect. She returned to the city and informs Eigenblick about his true mission. But it is too late. The country has fallen into a state of civil unrest and a low-key war is waging across the country. The fairies, who can see the future but remember little of the past, understand the peril they are in but forget why, and they prepare to go deeper into the realms of fairy. However, this cannot happen unless the extended family of the Drinkwaters take the place in the outer realm. On Midsummer's Day, the family assemble at Edgewood and walk into the new realm. At the last minute, Smokey, who never really believed in fairy, chooses not to go but is persuaded otherwise by Sophie. He attempts the journey but dies before he leaves the borders of Edgewood. The remaining family continue, and thus the tale is finally completed. The book ends with a description of Edgewood slowly decaying and returning to nature. Characters: Smokey Barnable, the novel's protagonist, whose marriage to the Drinkwater family is prophesied long before it occurs. Daily Alice Drinkwater, Smokey's wife, Sophie's sister and Oberon's mother. She is likewise assured of her destiny from a young age by Nora Cloud. Oberon Barnable, Smokey's son who eventually leaves for the city. Sylvie, a stateside Puerto Rican worker at George Mouse's farm, whom Oberon loves but loses in the city. Her and her brother's stories carry extended references to Lewis Carroll's Sylvie and Bruno. Sophie Drinkwater, Alice's sister, whose child is stolen shortly after birth. Violet Bramble, ancestor of the Drinkwater clan. She is found to be pregnant shortly after her father becomes active in a Theosophical society. John Doc Drinkwater, Alice and Sophie's father. Oberon Drinkwater, Alice's eccentric uncle. His attempts to record the existence of the fairies is poorly received. Grandfather Trout, a friend of Alice introduced early in the novel, who may have ties with previous generations of the Drinkwater family. George Mouse, Smokey's friend who first introduces Smokey to his cousins, the Drinkwater family. Ariel Hawkskill, a powerful sage who closely follows the rise of Russell Eigenblick, granddaughter of Violet Bramble's first lover, Oliver Hawkskill. Russell Eigenblick, the despotic ruler of the city late in the history of the family. Aunt Nora Cloud. Literary significance. Harold Bloom included this work in his book The Western Canon, calling it a neglected masterpiece, the closest achievement we have to the Alice stories of Lewis Carroll. Bloom also recorded, based on their correspondence, that poet James Merrill loved the book. Thomas M. Disk described Little Big as the best fantasy novel ever, period. Ursula Le Guin stated that Little Big as a book that all by itself calls for a redefinition of fantasy. In modern fantasy, the 100 best novels, David Pringle has described Little Big as a work of architectonic sublimity, and the author plays with masterly skill on the emotional nerves of awe, rapture, mystery and enchantment. Paul Di Filippo has said of Little Big, it is hard to imagine a more satisfying work, both on an artistic and an emotional level. Awards and nominations. Winner of the World Fantasy Award 1982. Nominated for the Nebula Award for Best Novel 1981. Nominated for the Hugo Award for Best Novel 1982. Nominated for the British Science Fiction Association Award 1982. Nominated for the Locus Award for Best Fantasy Novel 1982. Release details. 1981 USA, Bantam Books, ISBN 0553-01266-5, pub date September 1981, trade paperback. Simultaneously published in Canada. 1982 UK, Victor Gollancz, ISBN 0575-03065-8, pub date May 1982, hardcover. 1982 UK, Victor Gollancz, ISBN 0575-03123-9, pub date May 1982, trade paperback. 1983 UK, Methuen, ISBN 0413-513505. Pubdate 1983, mass market paperback, 1983 USA. Bantam Books, ISBN 0553-233378. Pubdate October 1983, mass market paperback. Yvonne Gilbert, 1986, UK. Methuen, ISBN 0413-513505. Pubdate November 1986, mass market paperback, 1987 USA. Bantam Books, ISBN 0553-26586-5. Pubdate April 1987, mass market paperback, 1990 USA. Bantam Books, ISBN 0553-26586-5. Pubdate November 1990, mass market paperback. Tom Canty, 1994, USA. Bantam, ISBN 0553-373978. Pubdate September 1994, hardcover. Gary A. Lippincott, 1997 USA. Eastern Press Masterpieces of Fantasy, hardcover, 1997 USA. Bantam, Science Fiction Book Club, ISBN 1-56865-429-4. Pubdate August 1997, hardcover. Gary A. Lippincott, 2000 UK. Orion Books, ISBN 1-85798-711-X. Pubdate May 2000. Trade paperback, Volume 5 of the Fantasy Masterworks series, 2002 USA. Harper Perennial, ISBN 006-093793-9. Pubdate March 2002. Trade paperback, 2006 USA. Harper Perennial Modern Classics, ISBN 006-112005-7. Pubdate October 2006. Trade paperback, 2011 USA. Blackstone Audio, ISBN 978-14-417-3392-4 and ISBN 978-14-417-3395-5. Pubdate the 15th of December 2011, or audiobook. Read by the author. Reading from the author's preferred text, created for the Incunabula edition. A museum-quality new edition, designed in accordance with the author's idea of how the book should be presented and with a newly edited, corrected, restored, and revised text, has been in production for a decade at Incunabula, a small press in Seattle. This limited edition will include reproductions of the artwork of Peter Milton and an afterword by Harold Bloom.